Welcome to BBCO. Now, up next, we have someone that you might not consider to see on here, but why not? He is an entertainer and an entrepreneur who is making an empire, beginning an empire with Lynx Entertainment. Let's take a look at his profile.
I was a small boy with a big dream. I mean, I was a Yaro those days too, you know, and I really wanted to do music. It was my biggest passion for my whole family and everything. And I was in school doing science actually. I was in Ashimoto school and I was a science student doing really well in science. And my choir teacher told me I was wasting my talents trying to be a scientist when I could be a musician. And I told him I love science. So he said, okay, I should try and combine both and be a sound engineer. So I think that's nice, he's smart. So basically, when I finished SS, when I was 17, I decided to try and see if I could take the music on professionally. So I opened my own studio at the age of 17. And I mean, everybody said it wasn't possible because I was just a small boy, didn't have enough money to do it, nobody was going to take me serious. I mean, the whole world was against me except my mom and my family. And I said, that's all I need. All I need is me, my dream, my strength, and the people behind me. And then I took this course on. I mean, I created the own studio with the small money I had, bought some small computer mics, got some few softwares, and I started. And then, I mean, as I worked, more money came in. My mom helped me out with small money along the way. Next thing you know, Richie is Richie is on everybody's lips. Everybody's going, you know the name, right? You know the name, right? And I'm thinking, if I hadn't decided when I was 17 to fight for my dream, I wouldn't be here today. I would be behind some desk typing or playing. But basically, my advice to you out there is that whoever you are, you have something very special in you, just like I have something special in me. So don't give up, fight for it, and trust me, one day you'll be much, much greater than I am today, because you're listening to me say this right now. So be bold. When I look in the mirror, I cannot. So basically what I'm doing right now is this is how we make the music. This is how we record the tracks. This is Cubase SX5, and this is where you combine the music with the science. I mean, you record the song, you mix it here, you edit it here, you arrange, then when you finish you do the mastering. It has everything from effects to delays to reverbs to, I mean, this is how you combine music with science to create what you love and listen to. Hey. She left without leaving a number, said she needed to clear her mind. He figured she'd gone back to London, cause she talked about it all the time. It was almost a year before she called him up. 3 years and an answering machine is what she got. If you call about the car I sold it, if this is Tuesday night I'm roaming, if you got something to say, you're wasting your time, I'm not buying. If it's anybody else, wait for the tone, they know what to do. And P.S. if this is London, then I still love you. Hey. If this is Tuesday night I'm roaming, if you got something to sell, you're wasting your time, I'm not buying. If it's anybody else, wait for the tone, you know what to do. Anybody else, wait for the tone, you know what to do. And P.S. if this is London, then I still love you.
Richie Mensah. A lot of you may know him, of course, and he's sitting right here on the Bibosa. Thank you for joining us here today.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, so tell me about this empire that you've started, Lynx Entertainment. What is it all about?
Well, first place, I don't like to call Lynx an empire. I see it as a family, because when I was young, people were saying they wanted to create music empires, and I said the reason they never worked was music doesn't work in a hostile environment, so it has to be a family. So it's the Lynx family.
Wow. Now, you are not just an entrepreneur, you're not just an artist, you compose your own music, you play several instruments, as we saw in your profile right there. How is it that you're doing all of these things? And the irony of the whole situation is that you studied science in high school. How did that happen?
I think I'm a lucky guy. Well, I always say my one true talent is that I'm a fast learner. So I'm able to grasp ideas and concepts really well and execute them. So even though I did science in school, I always loved music. I mean, I've been singing since I was young. So it was after school I decided to take it professional, and combining it was easy because I learned quick.
Now, did you work after school or did you go straight into this?
I went straight into it. And then I remember my ideal plans were going to tech to go and do computer programming. But then when I started working right after school, and you know that 1 year break, the music started picking off, and I saw I could actually be great at this. So I decided to do NIT, which is right here in Accra. So I was doing that while doing the studio. Then after the 2 years, by that time the music had taken off completely, and I knew I was on course.
Wow. And how did family support this? Were they all for it, you know, starting and not going the usual way, which would be, you know, finding a job, for instance?
Luckily, my parents are divorced.
Yeah.
Because my dad wouldn't have accepted at all. I mean, I remember even after a year, he was still saying I should go and do medicine, because that's what I wanted to do when I was younger. But my mom supported me all the way. I mean, she's the reason I'm here. She helped me financially, morally, everything.
Now, it says also that you describe yourself as a true African, not afraid of exploring and utilizing ideas and emotions from every part of the world that you find yourself in. How does that play out in your music?
It helps. Now, the main reason why most of the Ghanaian music isn't understood outside is, you know, culture is difficult to understand if it's so foreign to you. But if you're able to merge different cultures, then you can get a wider audience to be able to understand it. I mean, anybody who listens to my music can tell I'm Ghanaian. But you can still hear certain elements of different cultures, which gives it a whole new brand on its own. You know, it's refreshing.
You've got a bit of pop in there, as well as African, you know, everything.
I like to mix it up, you know.
Yeah.
Potpourri for music.
Now, you didn't just, you know, become an artist, an independent artist, and be known for Richie, who you are, but you use that also to create, like you said, a family, and now you're doing a lot of things and have found a way to make money out of all of these different areas. I want to go more into that, and that's why you know, you're on here for BBC. What made you decide to sort of produce other or manage other artists to make money? Like, how did you come up with your whole business plan to make more money in other areas?
I believe in something called the ripple effect. I always said that the reason why most people try a genre of music in Ghana and it doesn't work is because they try on their own. Then when they're successful, nobody continues and it dies off. But if you're able to create a team which can systematically release certain types of songs in order, you can actually create a ripple effect enough to create a movement.
No way. So explain this to me. What you're saying is that you manage certain artists and then you sort of push what people should hear or what should go out there.
Yeah.
And there, in a way, monopolize the system. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Because
and it works.
It works.
Wow.
So this way it becomes a whole movement. And you know, once you start something as a movement, other people want to be part of the movement, and the next thing you notice, the whole community is joining the movement and doing that. And then it gets to a point you don't even have to spearhead the movement. You can just sit back and it will move in the direction you wanted it to.
But isn't that like giving away a bit of a secret? Because now
it's too late. I've done it already.
Other people are gonna be like, well, that's what he's doing, let's also bring some artists together, and then I guess the best team wins in terms of what kind of music.
Well, you know, having an idea and executing it
is one thing.
Two very different things. You know?
Tell me about that, about some of the challenges that you faced along the way of putting this family together.
the main challenge in any business is finance. I mean, the music industry is very, very expensive. From the recording studio, and ours too is an inbuilt recording studio, and it's really expensive to set up, to shooting music videos, to promotions, to, I mean, clothing for artists. It's a very expensive business. So finance was always a headache. In fact, sometimes it's still a headache. But, I mean, we found ways around it.
Yeah.
Learned how to do a lot with small.
Yeah. Now you've traveled a lot, gone around to different places to perform and stuff. What do you think the difference is for artists outside of the country compared to here is?
The difference is they have the structures in place. Now, one problem in Ghana, which I discussed not too long at a forum for the industry, is that we don't have the structures. Let's say any business in the country right now, let's say communication networks, they already have a structure for communication networks. So if you set up your own company, all you do is plug yourself in the structure, and as long as you're operating well enough, you make the returns. But Ghana has no such structure. There's no such structure for music at all. So when you're a record label or a management team, you have to come up with innovative ways of making enough revenue to sustain, because there's no structure. There are no royalties, no copyrights. So it stifles the artist a bit. For instance, people complain about good music videos and stuff, but do they know that it's really expensive to shoot music videos? And in Ghana, after shooting the video, you make no revenue from the video. In fact, you even have to pay sometimes to get the video.
To get them out there.
Exactly. So it's not a good business plan, but we hustle and do it because we love the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what is the most thriving one of the things that you do for Lynx Entertainment?
I would say it's the record label side, which manages the artist. But we have other things we do which people don't even know is us doing. For instance, we manage events. Yeah.
So you do a whole bunch of different things to sort of bring in more revenue and profit to sort of keep the business.
Exactly. The recording studio is also a main part of the revenue income. I mean the income revenue. Yeah. We also have Lynx Extreme, which is the dance section. They choreograph, they do their own videos. You know, it's like innovation in the dance industry. Then we also have what else we have? We do graphic designs. We also do video editing. I'm saying a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Now, with your science, have you used any of that at all with your science background?
Well, what I do is sound engineering. Now, unfortunately, there's no formal training in sound engineering in Ghana. So I was able to combine my knowledge in music and my knowledge in science, specifically physics and chemistry, and use for the sound engineering. So I did some online courses, like I'll just be reading. Of course, in Ghana, you don't have a credit card, so you can't pay. So I'll do the first 2 weeks free, move on to the next course. But basically, it helped me to be able to combine the music with the science to be a sound producer.
So self-taught, you taught yourself everything to get to where you are today.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, there are a lot of people out there that look up to you, you know, and want to do something with what you're doing. What advice do you have for them in terms of your journey or their journey that they may have to take and things that they shouldn't do to be able to get to where you are?
I would say it's really difficult to get to where I've gotten to. It may be easier for some and even more difficult for some. But the thing is, if you have a dream and you have the heart and the way to get there, don't stop. Keep working, keep working, keep working. It may take you 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but you'll make it. And whenever they say life is short, it's a lie. Life is very long, and you'll live to regret the decisions you made saying life is short.
Yeah.
So you need to analyze life. And I mean, if you know that right now you're 16, you need to think about it. Do you want the quick buck so that when you're 19, you're just okay, I'm going to throw your life away? Or you want to have a steady plan so that by the time you're 26, after 10 years, you have a future? Because you're going to live to like 70. Are you going to just decide everything on the first 2 years? No. You should be strong. And if this is what you want, go for it. Don't stop.
Yeah.
You get there. I mean,
well,
I'm here.
Right now, I'd really like to take a look at one of your favorite music videos and talk about how you went about in the making of it. So let's take a look at this, and we'll come back to discuss more with Richie.